When retopologizing our mesh, we want to use the mirroring tools to have the computer automatically create the other side of the geometry for us. Now, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we have to have a very defined center line in order for that mirroring tool to work. So we have to be strategic with the placement of our polygons to facilitate the creation of that center line. Now, I've been working with a center line as I've been retopologizing the little head of my bear here. And if I was to jump over into my component selection mode, let me get out of here. I have a really nice loop there, and I'm going to turn off the bear, the high resolution bear, and you can see the low resolution bear just sitting there, and it's starting to look pretty great. Okay, I'm happy with that. So if I double click on the boundary edge, it selects the entire loop. Now I need that edge to be perfectly in the center of my three-dimensional space. I can't have it be one side or the other of the x-axis, otherwise I'm going to get a gap or crossed polygons when I mirror the shape to the other side of the x-axis. So I need to be precise, and it's really critical at this stage, before we start smoothing out all of our geometry, that we have a boundary of the geometry that's perfectly centered within inside the scene itself. The first step in this process is making an intelligent and accurate selection. I need to have just the verts that go along the boundary selected. I don't want to have all of these, and I know that's real hard to see. I don't want all of these verts in here or edges in here selected. So I'm just going to very quickly deselect it. And what I have left in my Maya file is just the boundary edge selected. Just doing a quick inspection, making sure I got them all, and things are looking good. Now to automatically have the computer move the verts along the selected edge to the middle of my scene, we have to go into a kind of hidden feature, if you will, inside of Maya. It's buried. There's a menu that's collapsed. It's actually been staring us right in the face. The menu has just been shrunken down and collapsed in the interface, and it's often overlooked. If you go way up to the top of our Maya interface, right here, so I'm almost right next to where it says Crandley P, that's my username for my license, but this thing right here, that's a button that opens up. It's a line with a little arrow next to it, and admittedly, it is small. Autodesk, if you're listening, make it bigger, please. If we click on that, it's going to expand a whole series of channel boxes in which we can enter in a value, and it will automatically move the selected components to that location in space. So these are locations inside of our three-dimensional space. Well, I want all those verts to be automatically moved to 0 amongst the x-axis. And voila, you hit 0, return, and it individually moves all of those elements to perfectly in the center of the x-axis. Let's give some confidence to this entire process. If we look at our scene from the top, turn on our grid, let's do a quick inspection. Yep, nailed it. All of those verts along the boundary edge of my mesh are perfectly aligned to the middle of the x-axis. I now have a defined center line that I can use to mirror my shape. We want to do this step now. The next step is going to be smoothing out all of our geometry. With that defined center line in place, it's not going to smooth and move those shapes too far. Maybe a little bit here and there, but we can always go back in and fudge it back later. But getting that established now is really going to help smooth out our shape and start to evenly distribute all of these polygons inside of our three-dimensional scene. So this is how we very quickly can go in and move component pieces to define locations in the space. And it's only going to work with components. If we were to go back into our object mode here, select the mesh, and then go back into our channel box, all of this stuff, these are object level transform channels. We want to work at the component level, at the vertex level, which is why these channel box up here at the top of the scene are such a powerful addition to our 3D mesh editing workflow.